Today in The Sims 4, we're going to be building a retro-themed home in the shape of the letter R. We are back on our alphabet lot, and I cannot believe that we're on our second to last row of letters. I'm amazed that we even made it this far in the series, so thank you guys all for the support. I'll link the entire Alphabet Challenge playlist in the description box if you want to binge all the episodes up until now. As usual, you guys came through with a lot of great suggestions for the letter R, but one that really spoke to me and caught my attention was R for retro. I just think there's a lot of great items in The Sims that would fit that aesthetic, stuff from the bowling stuff pack, even the Get Famous expansion pack. I'm thinking lava lamps, retro records, beanbag chairs, all of that fun stuff. And before we get started, don't forget to drop your suggestions down below on what theme we should do for the letter S in our next week's episode. But with that being said, let's get started on making the best floor plan possible for the letter R. So the top half of the R is pretty straightforward. We're going to have our kitchen here, which will lead into our dining room and then lead into our large living room. Now the little hole in the R will be our one and only bathroom, which leads me to my exciting announcement. We're going to have 2 bedrooms in this build. This slightly larger one right here will be our primary bedroom, which means this one in the bottom corner will be our secondary bedroom. Now I'm pretty sure we haven't been able to fit 2 bedrooms in an alphabet build since the letter H, so I'm really excited for this one. Let me know what you guys think of this floor plan. Let's get started. Going right in with the flooring because I feel like this will set the tone. I think I want to do a fun mix of warm toned wood and carpeting. And this is going to be so painful, but do I have to put like the linoleum in the kitchen and bathroom? I really don't want to. Maybe for the bathroom we can use this orange and white linoleum from the bowling stuff pack. I want to put carpeting in the living room, but I don't really want to fill this entire space with carpeting, so I might just do a sunken living room and just put carpeting on that part. Maybe this nice fluffy rug from the pastel pop kit can save us. I put some archways and doors in and it's starting to look kind of homey. For the front door over here, I'm gonna grab this one from the Get Famous pack. The green with the brown is pretty out there. Maybe we'll try and make that work. We don't have tons of space by the entrance, but I do want to include some sort of table. So this one from Get Famous is so cute and fits into the corner perfectly. I'm thinking something pretty straightforward like this mirror from the base game, and then we can put a shoe rack underneath and a coat rack in the corner. And for doormat, I'm just gonna size down this orange and white base game one. Now for wallpaper, I'm thinking of committing to the chevron print one from the bowling stuff. It's definitely giving retro. I swapped out the mirror for this green base game one and then added this clutter piece from the Everyday Clutter kit. Now I'm gonna go in with this half wall trim from the Dine Out pack to put on top of this half wall here. Now for the living room section, I'm gonna lay out a couple of pieces that I know I want to include and then see how I can make them fit in this oddly shaped living room. Okay, this is the cluster of items I've pulled. Basically, all of these items here are from the bowling stuff pack, and then all of these items here, including this painting, are from Get Famous. And if possible, I really think that I might be able to incorporate the zebra rug. As you guys know, I've been dying to use this rug since my last video when I discovered it. But the obvious issue here is I can't fit all of these items in this room, so I'm gonna have to make some cuts and play a little bit of furniture Tetris. Okay, so I ended up cutting most of the bowling items and kept mainly things from Get Famous. The only items from the bowling pack are this end table and this retro lamp, and then this television is from the basement clutter kit. So I think this is a pretty functional floor plan for now. I do want to spice it up with maybe a plant and a bookshelf. I know that there's a good plant that I want to use from the Get Famous pack. It has a pretty retro like vase to it. This one right here, I don't know why, but it just seems retro to me. And then for bookcase, there is actually a matching one from the Get Famous pack, but I was thinking that this one from the Growing Together pack would actually work a little bit better. Next, I'm grabbing this super retro clock from the bowling stuff pack. You know it's a retro home if they have an actual clock on the wall, because nowadays we just look at our phones or ask our Google Home to tell us what time it is. Does anybody else do that, by the way? Like literally ask their Google Home to tell them what time it is because you left your phone in the other room and you're too lazy to go check it? Or is it just me? Please don't tell me it's just me. Next, I'm just grabbing this yellow hanging light from the bowling pack. Now I want to clutter up this coffee table. I just put these eco lifestyle slats on the wall to make the curved part look a little bit more interesting, and then added these wall sconce lighting fixtures from the Seasons pack, and there you have it. Here is our retro entryway and living room all done. You guys, I honestly think we're off to a really good start. I really like how this looks. I think the warm brown tones really fit the vibe, as well as the random like neon pops of color. Even the layered rugs here are kind of working for me, so yeah, let's keep this momentum up and go on to our next room. Let's work our way through the home and go on to the primary bedroom first. So I already know which bed I want to use for the retro build, and that is this one from the Get Famous pack. I really just couldn't imagine using any other bed in this particular build. Maybe grabbing these yellow pedestal base game end tables and sizing them down by 1 just so they fit better. And instead of table lamps, we can grab the same sconces we used outside and put them on either side of the bed here. This awkward corner isn't super ideal for a dresser. I think I might have to use this one from Tiny Living for the small footprint. Luckily, the color swatches in this item actually match pretty well. I could even go for something fun like that one. Okay, we have our dresser and laundry basket, and then I think I want to go in with this hanging plant from the Blooming Rooms kit. That side's looking good. Now, I do want a little bit more going on this side of the room, so I was thinking of using this mirror decoration from the Decor to the Max kit. It happens to fit perfectly, but it also for some reason is screaming retro to me. Let's put another one of these large statement paintings from the Get Famous expansion pack. Now for light fixture, I definitely want something else overhead. Oh, we definitely need to include one of these ceiling fans, so I'm just gonna grab this one from the base game and put that right there. And I don't know if this is retro or not, but I feel like I've seen this somewhere where they have like a light bulb hanging between the ceiling fan. So I'm just gonna grab this one from the Laundry Day pack and overlap it in the middle there. To finish off the room, I'll grab this ottoman from the bowling pack and just place it at the end of the bed. Okay, I just lined some shoes underneath the ottoman here and then put this base game green curtain over here. I'm imagining it's one of those curtains that you can just slide all the way across, but it's just bunched up to the edge right now, so use your imagination. And with that being said, here is our retro primary bedroom all done. I think that this looks pretty decent. Obviously, it's on the smaller side, but I think the ultra warm color scheme and the bright pops of color definitely look pretty retro to me. So let's move on to the next room. Before we move on, I want to decorate this little hallway for a bit, and I wanted to add some of these retro records onto the wall. Maybe layering a couple of them and like snaking them up the wall. I also forgot to include in the living room this retro jukebox. I think this is an absolute must. I can maybe slot it right here in the hallway. Okay, I like how that looks. Now let's move across the hallway and work on our bathroom. For wallpaper in here, I'm thinking of going with this Bumpalicious one from the base game. I was also really heavily considering this Dots one from the base game. What's kind of funny is now that the base game's been out for so long, a lot of the base game stuff by default is already kind of retro. Like, I don't think it was retro at the time, but now it's kind of retro and old-fashioned. So yeah, moral of the story, if you want to make a retro build, you definitely need to have the base game. And yes, that is me 100% throwing shade at the base game, just by the way. I grabbed this toilet and tub from the base game, and then this vanity is from Get Famous. Now for the mirror, I'm also thinking of using a mirror from the base game, but we could have more fun with it and go with this brass framed one from the Groin Together pack. I kind of like how the frame matches the faucet perfectly. That's very satisfying in my opinion. I just put down these towels from the bathroom clutter kit, and now I think I want to go in with some sort of storage unit. And then for painting, why don't we go in with the infamous egg painting? Now you might be thinking that, Ashley, this kind of makes a little bit more sense to put in like the kitchen or dining room. And to that I say, I disagree. I think that this painting is universal and it works in all types of rooms, especially in the bathroom, because why wouldn't you want to be thinking of breakfast while you're taking a nice bath, you know? Feel free to disagree in the comments down below. I'd be happy to debate with you. Okay, I'm liking how this is looking. Now on these two blank walls, I think it would be fun if we maybe put some stuff from the Laundry Day pack, like either this broom and dustpan or maybe even this ironing board on the wall. I feel like ironing clothes was more popular back in the day because nowadays I really don't iron my clothes at all. Like I've never iron my clothes once in my life. Like, I sometimes will use a steamer, but never an iron. Like, I don't even own an ironing board. But once again, maybe that's just me, so let me know down below if you iron your clothes frequently or not. Alright, I just swapped out the overhead lighting for the sconce lighting we've been using, and here is our retro bathroom all done. I think that it looks pretty good. The flooring and wallpaper definitely hit home that retro vibe, as well as the sink vanity, but overall, no complaints here. Let's move on to our dining room. For the dining table, I really want to use this one from the Get Famous pack. I don't know what it is, but something about a glass dining table just feels really retro to me. Now for chairs, there are some matching ones from the Get Famous pack, but I do think that these ones from the bowling pack would fit even better in this dining room. I guess before we choose the chair color, I think I want to choose our rug color first. So I'm gonna grab this same Get Famous rug and see what other swatches we have to work with. Something with a geometric pattern like this one or even this one is super retro to me. Maybe even something like this one, and then we could bring in some green coloring on the walls perhaps. I really want this circular wallpaper from the base game to have its chance to shine, but it might be a little too intense to put it over the entire dining room, so I'm thinking maybe we can just have it as an accent wall. Accent walls were a thing back in the day, weren't they? If we just sandwich it on either side of the wall, that's not half bad. And let's put the fruit bowl in the middle of the dining table. I think that's a nice pop of color. And then on this blank wall, I'm gonna add in this retro shelf from the Get Famous pack. It happens to fit perfectly. For overhead light, maybe we can grab this pendant one from the Discover University pack. The yellow tone is really fun and does complement the color scheme we have going on in here. As a final touch, I'll put this base game plant in the corner, and here's our colorful retro dining room all done. I think this room is so much fun. I really love the color scheme, and I also like how we sectioned off the dining room into a confined space. Usually I make my dining rooms more open concept, which is a more modern take on a floor plan, but this dining room style definitely helps it to feel more retro and old-fashioned. So let me know what you guys think of it. Let's move on to the kitchen. Okay, on to the kitchen and these lovely linoleum floors. So first things first, I definitely want to include this retro fridge we got from the Cottage Living pack. I think this is the perfect application of this fridge. As for the stove, I think we might have to go for this basic base game one. It's one of the few stove options that has like the old style burners. I don't really know what they're called, but it's not like a gas stove, obviously. Oh, and if we want it to be really retro, maybe we can go for like a blue color scheme on the appliances. Okay, actually, I decided to change it to a classic red retro kitchen with a black stove. I kind of want to just do a white fridge and then maybe do some red cabinets up above. For wallpaper, I think I'm going to go a bit simpler and grab these beige tiles from the Get Famous pack. And now I'm just going to clutter up the countertop with some essentials and I'll be right back. Okay, here is the kitchen all cluttered up. I just added some of these appliances from the base game. These cookbooks are from the Cool Kitchen pack, as well as this bread basket, I'm pretty sure. And then this dish rack is from Parenthood. And there you have it. Here's our retro kitchen all done. I think that the red cabinets really screams retro to me on top of the like linoleum flooring, obviously. But overall, I think this is a really cute room and I think I did a pretty good job at making it look retro. So let's move on to our final room. Okay, let's go through the dining room and here is our final bedroom. So I definitely want to make this bedroom probably for a kid or like a teenager or something. That way I can get away with using a single bed, and I was thinking of using this one from the base game. Honestly, that looks pretty retro, not gonna lie. And I have a few items in mind that I want to lay out beforehand just to make sure that I use them. Okay, I pulled a few items here. So some things like this dresser are from the Get Famous pack. We weren't able to use this dresser in the primary bedroom, so I think I want to try and make it work in this bedroom. And then on top of the dresser, maybe we can go in with this squiggly mirror from the Pastel Pop Kit. This checkered rug is from the Pastel Pop Kit, and I think it adds some nice retro color into this room. And then this beanbag chair is from high school years. I imagine the sim having all their friends over in this room and like chilling on the bed and on the beanbag chair and on the floor, just hanging out. Now I want to basically cover this entire wall with posters, fashion posters, sports posters, band posters, everything I can find. Here's our poster wall all done. I think that looks so cool. Now on the top of the dresser here, I just added some clutter, and then on this end table as well, I added some CDs and some nail polish. Now I think the last thing this room needs is a stereo, because you know this sim has all their friends over and they're listening to music at full blast like all the time. I can't really tell which one of these would be considered the most retro. I'm guessing like the most bulky one. This one right here from the base game looks pretty bulky. It looks kind of like a CD player, like this one doesn't have any wireless Bluetooth attachment. Let's also just scatter some of these clothes on the floor to give it more of that messy, youthful vibe. And there you have it. Here's our retro teen bedroom all done. I absolutely love this room. It looks so fun and colorful and youthful, and honestly, this is the type of bedroom that I would still want to live in today. So I don't know if that means that I didn't make it retro enough or not, but something about it still does feel very retro. Like, it doesn't look like a modern bedroom to me, but let me know what you guys think. Well, you guys, that concludes our R-shaped retro home today. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that we completed this one. This is my first retro build I've ever done in my entire life. I have never tackled this aesthetic ever, but for some reason it kind of just came really natural to me. Like, I researched a couple of photos on Pinterest and kind of immediately knew what the vibe was. But I also think that packs like the Get Famous expansion pack and the bowling stuff pack really made it easy for me to just lean on those items and let them speak for themselves. And let's also not forget the fact that the Deer base game is already pretty retro in itself, so we definitely have the base game to thank, especially for these linoleum floors and a lot of these very retro wallpapers. But I also think I went for a more like toned down suburban retro in a way. So yeah, overall I probably could have gone for a louder version of the retro aesthetic, but I think that this was a very like realistic take on retro and something that was much more in my comfort zone, which I think is okay considering, like I said, this is my very first time attempting a retro aesthetic at all. But thank you guys all so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up so I know that you are still liking this series, and also comment down below what your favorite room in this house is. I think that my favorite room honestly it might be this whole entranceway living room area. I just think that it has so much dimension and feels like a really like realistic retro living room. In fact, this entire floor plan that I made in the letter R feels very intuitive and realistic in itself. Like, the general flow of the floor plan feels really good, so I'm pretty happy with that. And before you go, don't forget to comment down below what suggestions you have for the letter S next week. The only thing I can think of off the top of my head is sad, star, Sherpa, smart. Okay, I can think of a lot, but none of those sound like amazing themes to me, so please leave your better suggestions down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Maybe share this video with a friend if you want to, but besides that, I hope you guys have an extremely above average day. Love you!